Do you want to learn more about the real Belize and listen to locals and expat stories that are actually living here in Belize? Well, you're in the right place right now. You're listening to Belize Talk Radio, and I'm your host, Macarena Rose. Welcome back, everybody, to Belize Talk Radio. And again, this has been a wonderful journey of learning about history of Belize. Not only just the animals, the culture, the history of the whole country of how it became Belize. And that, it's 32 years old tomorrow.
32 years old.
Tomorrow's the birthday.
Yep.
Birthday party. So before we went to commercial break, we were talking about you started getting into the glyphs, and you said that you didn't do like glyphs that meant something particular.
Yeah.
But what do the glyphs mean that you did? In other words, were they free drawn that you came up with?
The ones by the steers that I did, because if I start telling a story in the form of glyphs, to take a whole series.
That's true.
So normally the head form you see there on the cloth would be when you end the glyph or a text, you put a feature like that.
Okay.
The mayor had asked me, the mayor of San Ignacio, said the art looks so good, and the top area where the stages was not a part of the artwork. He said, but Pedro, can you do that? The free-spirited person I am, the passion I have for art, I said, I can do it, don't worry about it.
No
So
problem.
I blended the cream area on the top, and there what I did, I put special glyphs of the kin, the katun, the batun, the unal, the different langkong features of the Maya. So the ones on top have meaning, okay?
Okay.
You can see maybe there's one over there, 18. The first, you see 3 bars.
Yes.
That's 15, 16, 17, the 3, that's its 3. A bar is 5, so 3 bars would represent 15, and 3, that's 18. That's the 18-month calendar of the Maya. The feature there represents the days, okay? And then we move along, and then you will also see where I have another 9, I have another 18, and I have 9. So I integrated the days of the underworld, try to get the different dates, but one of the interesting features is like kin. Kin means 1, the unal would be a month, and then you have the tun, which is 360 days. Then you have the katun, which is 2,700 days, and you have the batun, which is the langkong, we call 144,000 days, which is 400 years in our time today. So those are the features you must understand to be able to work along with glyphs and read them and understand them. But the interesting feature of this area is where I have the wall. I use the texture is I put a exploding opening of the underworld, and there we have a unique feature popping up, which is the green jade. You see the green jade there? What that represents, one of the most important treasures of our nation. It is the largest carved piece of jade found in the Maya world today. No other country has ever found one the size we have done here. What was interesting is not the size or the shape, it is what it displayed. The carving on the jade was carved with the text of glyph, and also the dominant feature of the sun god, Kinich Ahau. So today, after speaking to our top archaeologist, Jaime Awe, and we asked him one day, what is the price of the jade head? He said, it has no price.
Good
When
answer.
you look at the history, you look at the culture, you look at the work, you cannot put a price on that type of stuff. So the jade head is maybe, if someday the country would be in trouble, we could use it as collateral to defend the nation.
But it's priceless.
It's priceless, so it wouldn't be able to use. But
Good answer from
what is
Highway.
beautiful about it, it weighs 9 3/4 pounds, very small in size, but it's a very beautiful piece, because when you find jade any bigger than that, it's something that has been produced today by modern man, and it wouldn't be from the Maya time. The smaller pieces of jade you find are ear flares, small tube beads, small jade figurines, but nothing this size, 9 3/4 pounds, and the feature it had, very interesting, of the sun god, Kinichahao. So he's popping out of a text. Then as we continue working along, one of the dominant features you always see in a Maya formation would be the profile of an elite, with the shape of a nose like that, the flat forehead. And as I was working along the wall, I had no choice but where there were PVC pipes that were outlets of water, I integrated a part of that to be part of an air flare of the Maya. So interestingly, when it rained a couple of days, it seemed like he was throwing water out of the air. But water, one of the dominant features in the world today, because we might believe we're fighting for oil, we're fighting for what you call natural gas, but maybe another 25 years from now, the earth as a people will be fighting for water. because water will be one of the most important factors in our universe and in our world to come. Okay? So when you look at that feature, it's interesting that you'll see the water spouting out the gift of life. Water would also represent throwing water on the earth to replenish the earth the way the Maya did. Ishchel, the beautiful young lady, the maiden of childbirth and weaving, she'll always see her throwing water on there. As we continue along, you have another dominant feature of the sun god, but I painted it in the form because here we're facing west, and the sun rises in the east, comes overhead, goes and it settles in the west where life finishes for the Maya, and when the sun settles in the west, you wonder where it goes. Apparently, in the Maya believe it goes in the underworld. Today we know the sun is a fixed planet, but that is why I painted the glyph facing west, because that's where the sun dies every day in the Maya world.
And it's interesting because right now, like where we are standing, you had the benefit of that wall facing west, and so you really did follow your spirit in all of this, didn't you, to know what to do?
Because when I work with art, I try to find the features that are available. You work with the universal complex, you work with the religious deal, you work with what you can integrate to make some sense out of your work. Because art is emotion, art is passion, and you must integrate all this stuff to know, and then you get the feel for it. You understand? So putting that there just signifies everything facing west. I did an interesting feature too. For example, farther back where I had the animals, somebody asked me, but I like to make a lot of fun when I was painting, because humor has a lot to do with art. Most of the animals were coming from the side of Santa Elena to San Ignacio. And people asked me why. I said, because they're running away from over there. If the hydro bursts and there's a problem, they're running for higher ground.
Come in here for higher land.
Yes. Also, so it's one of the features I mentioned when I was joking. And I made a lot of humor that people got not mad. They wondered, is something wrong with this guy? I remember when I was painting the gentleman on the tree, the first day I only painted him like this. They said, is that guy praying? He's praying for the chicle days to come back. Then he said, but he does not have a machete. I said, because the machete fell down and he hasn't gone to pick it up yet. But a guy walked up there, you know what is missing? The machete. I said, hold on, you want to rush this stuff, it goes by phase, you understand? So that is how I was working on that part. At the final end, we see that what I did, I used nearly, I would say, about 20 gallons of paint to cover this once again after using about 24 gallons of emulsion as a base. So then at the final end, when my cans were at about half an inch to be completed, the final amount of paint I had no choice but to just blend them into a modern day abstract. So the very end, I start stubbing paint mad, just in any form, and my brother was me, asked, what is that, Pete? I said, to me it's the day after. I said, the day after what? Use your imagination. That's all I said, the day after. So it looks like, I asked the mayor, somebody said, oh, that looks like fire burning. I said, think about it. Fire is an interesting feature, it burns and we don't know what will happen. So in my mind, I would call it the day after. It could be apocalypto or anything, but it is a very interesting abstract piece. I asked the mayor, do you like it? He said, it's very beautiful. So in that very end, we put a bit of modern art into the mural itself, okay?
Well, and I think fire is also very important for tile because they do the burning before they plant and harvesting.
Slash and burn.
They do the burning of, up in Corazol area for the sugarcane.
Yes, it is.
So fire is also energy in life. So
Fire is energy. If we didn't have fire, we wouldn't be able to cook our food. Because a lot of people like to say, you can cook. I say, you can't cook. The fire cooks your food, not you. You can prepare it. You understand? A lot of people say. So fire is one of the dominant factors. Fire, water, and wind. 3 dominant factors in the world. Very important.
And you covered them all here.
In that sense of the word, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely did. And I really am honored to be here with you and to actually be learning, about this, because I can drive by this and I can look at it, right? Mm-hmm. And as a lot of people are, but without knowing what every section is, you don't understand the learning that you have done to educate us on the history of Belize and to honor it. And I will now, for sure, when it's raining, be looking for water coming out of the
definitely.
Out of the pipes.
But like I said, I did it with humor because when kids pass, they said, Daddy or Mommy, look, water's popping out that guy here. But the artist knew what he was doing. So what was interesting that the combination of work we did, or I did, was to integrate a bit of humor, realism, history, and everything combined. And that makes it very interesting. Very, very interesting.
It does make it interesting.
And like you said, you have an idea of what the artist imagined now, because nobody knows how I came up with the idea. It just came flowing. But with the documentary we've done, the interviews we've done, now you have a general idea what it's like. People still don't have an idea how I came up with it, but you have an idea.
Yeah, you shared with us that you actually, it came from within you.
Yeah.
So no one else could have done this. This was meant for you to do this.
That's it, yeah. I think I came on this side, I was blessed to do it, I was pleased yet to do it. And hopefully in the future, if I can do it again, it will fill my heart with a lot of pleasure to do it once again.
Well, I think that this one is absolutely exquisite. I know that we're going to show a postcard on the website. Again, go to macarenarose.com. You'll be able to see the actual postcard of the one that was done 22 years ago.
22 years ago, yeah.
22 years ago.
22.
And then that was covered up because of something, and then...
Some political problems, yeah. Politics plays a very dominant role in the lifestyle of Belizeans. I wish we would run away from that and really become a nation and unite like we should always do, so this country can go forward.
Yes, when we're always more similar than different. So you can have difference of opinions, but unity is very important to always grow.
Very important.
And I've seen that lately, and I like that. And I say this wall is part of that. It just show that.
With that in mind is how I painted the wall.
I think you did fantastic in my opinion, and I have heard from people just talking about this wall, how they feel uplifted about it, how they feel passionate about it, how they don't even know the history of it. Wait till they get to find out all of this. You all are really getting insider information we're sharing.
You know, this second time around when I was painting, I got more comments from people, more positivity. For some reason, they were asking for it to be painted once. You're gonna paint it? Oh yeah, thank you. You're gonna make it look good. I wonder. People appreciate it a lot more. For some reason, they appreciate it a lot more. I've gotten more positive comments, more feedback. Hey, it's like it's a part of your lifestyle here in San Ignacio.
Well, it's proud. There's a pride to it now, and be able to drive down here. And before, it was just the wall.
And you know what makes it interesting? Any other part of the country you go, you won't find a mural on the outside. They say only Cayo, so they're glad. Go to Cayo, you're going to see a mural. They did it in the highlight for the September celebration, but it's for the entire nation and the country to appreciate. You understand?
It's almost like we have wall art.
Yes, that's what I want us to be, the municipality for art. If the municipal body and the Belize Tourist Board, we could get together with ideas. We could take every vacant piece of wall and make it and convert it into art. So globally, if they come here, go to Belize, go to San Ignacio. It's the only art area or an area where you can see art in the tongue itself. The tongue is art. That's what I want.
The town
and
is
not
art.
only myself, integrate other artists to work, put their pieces on the walls.
I think I'm going to have to commission you to do something for, Rainforest Realty, because the wall needs something. It's begging something. The green wall is begging to have attention, and I can see you doing it. You're the only man for it.
Well, that's something we can discuss in the future right here.
And so, how do people find you, Pedro?
You can get me on Facebook, Pedro Cruz. You can get me on my email, pacruz1958 at yahoo.com. That's it.
That's it.
And my phone number, 501, if you're from abroad, 663-7990. In Belize, 663-7990.
He's going to be very popular. He already is in my mind, and wow, talented. I want to thank you for listening to today's show. I'm your host, and honored to share Pedro Cruz with you, a dear friend of mine for 10 years now.
10 years, yeah.
10 years. And I wanted to share what his work of art has done for our San Ignacio Town, which is just, it makes me very full of pride to be able to share him with you. Thank you for listening today. I'm your host, Macarena Rose, on Belize Talk Radio. You're listening to the Overseas Radio Network.
Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, Macarena. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena.